Okay, so this is a short video sound quality of this guitar, which I have for sale right now on eBay. Started life as a vintage, which is the slightly lower end of the Fret King series. But I say it started life that way because I literally only bought it for the body and the bridge. This is the bridge I place in all my custom builds. This is a Wilkinson traditional steel throughout. I like the way they do the arm. I like mine to swing free, just presses in. It doesn't. There's no screws to put in, but you can adjust the tension so that it stays in a particular position if that's the way you like it. And then the reason I bought this body, A, is because it's two-piece alder. You can see the nice little center stripe there, and because it has that beautiful sculpted heel, which honestly you cannot get from the regular CNC builders here in the States. It's not offered as an option. I often order my bodies and then go ahead and, if it's a Warmoth, I'll fill in that lead hole there and sculpt the heel off myself. Or if I order from another another builder, I'll order it in such a way that I don't have to think about that, so that I can just sculpt the heel off myself. But this one came with it, and the paintwork's already done, which is great. It was a really nice, lively sounding guitar. Honestly, I almost sold it with the original neck on it. The original neck probably sounded a little darker than the neck I put on, which is a Warmoth. Decided to go with a Sir style headstock on it. It's got some nice light birds on the back of the neck. I don't know if they're going to show up in this. I'll get them to show up in the pictures. And it's a Stevie Ray Vaughan profile with 5150 necks, frets. I thought the slightly beefier profile would fit the slightly beefier pickups, and this is one of my favorite, most comfortable things to play on if you're playing all night long. Ripped out the electronics entirely. The original electronics actually did sound pretty good, but the pickups that Wilkinson puts in these, while they are stacked P90s, they're not truly humless. They decided to lean more towards the traditional P90 character, which doesn't allow you, at least probably at that price point, to get the real P90 sound. So they decided to offset the balance between the two coils. So they're not truly hum-free, which makes me a little crazy, to be perfectly honest, especially under LED lights like the ones in this room. You're going to hear when I turn the volume up, there is a slight amount of crackle. That is not the pickups, that is the electricity in this room. This is a very old house, and unfortunately I'm sort of stuck with what I have here. So even with my best hum canceling pickups, I hear that. My actives and stuff like that. The controls are an Alpha 500K, nice smooth taper to it here. This is a Bourns no-load tone control, which if you're not familiar with, if you wire these in as a tone control, if you roll it the whole way back, it actually acts as an off switch. You pretty much lose almost all your signal. Roll it up to about 1, it sounds like a tone control rolled the whole way back. About midway, it's going to sound like a regular tone control at 10. If you roll it the whole way up, you're going to have that sort of extra high end, extra low end that you get with a Fender TBX control. I'm going to run it at midway, except when I purposely show you the variations. These two switches I added, you notice they're nice and far down so that you never hit them with your finger when you're working your volume control. Another reason I bought this as my base for this build is that I like the Sir style controls where the volume control's a little bit farther down. I don't like hitting it by accident with my pinky when I'm playing, so I like it down and out of the way. I added these two mini switches down here. These are double pole, double throw switches, and they're obviously for the Seymour Duncan stacks, which are in the outside position. What they do is you switch from series to parallel. Down position is series, so louder and beefier. Up position is parallel, makes it sound more like a single coil. However, these do not sound like a humbucker in single coil. I think because the coils are stacked, so they're sensing the same range of the strings, same narrow bandwidth there. They actually sound like true single coils instead of sounding like a humbucker in parallel, which to me always sounds like two strat coils and slightly out of phase, which I don't like. That said, I do like the out of phase position in positions 2 and 4 on your 5-way switch. So what we have in the middle here, you can probably tell from these two outside screws, is not a P90. It is instead a Dimarzio Area 58 under a P90 cover, both so that I didn't have to buy a new pickguard, but also because I like the look of the three P90s. My other favorite guitar has three P90 styles in it as well. In fact, it's pretty much a duplicate of this, except I've got Zex coils running in that one. I like the Area 58 better than another Seymour Duncan stack in there. It actually makes it quite a bit quackier. Gives those positions their distinctive Strat character, which everybody loves, that king tone, as Stevie Ray Vaughan called it. The other thing you should know about the five-way switch is that the middle position does not activate the middle pickup. It operates the two outside pickups. I never use the middle pickup alone. This gives you the classic P90 combination of bridge and humbucker, which when they're in P90 mode can give you that Les Paul Jr. sound. If you have it up in single coil mode, can make it sound a lot like a Telly. You'll see another link to another video in the advert to sell this guitar. There's a guy named Bjorn something or other who does a great job. He's a much better player than I am, showing the variation that these pickups can generate in a Yamaha Pacifica. So basically, you're getting everything you'll be able to hear him do in that particular video with the 2 and 4 combinations from this middle pickup, which you're going to hear. I'm going to turn off the microphone so that you're just hearing the guitar. Otherwise, you'll hear the strings. You can hear it's a pretty loud microphone. You'll hear the strings clanging over it. I'll just point to the pickups I'm using. I'm running directly into the computer with a Line 6 HX Stomp. I'm using a basic twin reverb emulation with a tiny touch of reverb. And then I'll switch over for the dirt to a deluxe reverb that's just been cranked up. I'm not using any pedals or emulations in front of it. I'm not using any compressors, no delays. This is to show off the sound of the guitar so you know what you're purchasing, not to show off what my effects box can do or what I can do on the guitar. So I'm just going to try to play roughly the same licks in every position unless there seems like a lick that especially shows off the sound in that particular position. So we're going to turn this off, the microphone off now, and just run through the sounds for you. Before I show you the variations in the middle position, I just want to explain what I'm going to do. Watch carefully how I set these switches. While you get a total of, I think, 13 distinct tone combinations, the way I have this laid out, I think they're a little more intuitive than having every possible variation, more usable. In the middle position in particular, though, you're going to hear 3 especially distinct sounds. I will show you all 4, but it's really the most telly-like to my mind when you have the P90 up here and the single coil back here, so series and parallel. But I'm going to show you all the variations. Just watch the way the switches are set as I run through these combos. That's what I get for trying to play a Jimi Hendrix lick. I forgot I was supposed to go to an A instead of a B flat. So, this is that gives you the basic clean combinations there. Obviously, you can get a little brighter if you roll the tone control the whole way up and warm it up a little bit by rolling it back. Gives you really good variations in sound here. These are the clean variants. So I'm going to switch over to the deluxe reverb patch. Just so you get a sense, I'm going to start it in full series P90 mode, and then I will switch up to the single coil so you can hear that. Especially pay attention to how it cleans up, because I'll work the volume control a little bit more. Something I forgot to mention, this the way I'll ship it to you, the trem is blocked. So it is touching the face of the body because I like to do double stops and stuff. The way it is set, though, is that if you bend your G string more than about a tone and a half, that's when it starts to lift from the body. So it lets you do things like that little country lick that I played before. I'll play it up where you can see my hands. can play it in tune, but with a pretty light touch, you can get it to wobble. Or to give you a nice round tone. I wanted to be able to at least emulate the really light touch of a Bigsby, but still be able to get my double stops and play them in tune. Okay, so going back down here in series, again, this is just a deluxe reverb model that's dimed. I'm gonna, oh yeah, I forgot to turn off the microphone. I'll do that again. I'm going to switch up my tone here one more time. Oh, two more times, actually. I'll give you a quick one. I can't remember what this. I think this might be a AC30. Again, with a little bit higher gain. This is kind of more for the Texas sound. I'm just going to show you kind of the variations. I'm going to put these both in P90 position. Oh, left my microphone on. Sorry about that. So actually, even without a pedal, you could pretty effectively switch between a lead and a rhythm sound. Make it a lot more throaty just by throwing these switches around. Last variation I'm going to do for you is I'm going to use a 5150 emulation, again, with no pedals or nothing in front of it. This is just whatever this pushes the emulation. Just to give it a little bit higher distortion sound. See if I can remember any licks from that kind of music. Again, so the point was not to show off my playing, it was to show off the sounds that I think are in this really, really awesome build. Kind of a pain to let go of it, but I don't need as many guitars as I have. And again, my exact duplicate of this with these X coil pickups in it does these sounds pretty well too. So I had to make a choice. All right, hope you like what you see, and I know you'll be pleased with it if you purchase it.